What's the deal? It's boy Dwayne McClain at Dwayne McClain TV. Shouts out to everybody supporting the channel and showing love. I might not be at my all-time high energy. I just got off work, so you know how it goes, man. Today's my Friday, so Dwayne, I averaged 11 points on varsity. I think I'm NBA bound. Shouts out to Woke TV. Yeah, Woke TV is actually funny, man. I seen you post earlier and one of the videos. She was like, "Why that black girl talking to them white boys? You gonna make your daddy mad?" That joke was funny, man. I seen you post that. Shouts out to the DMTV Nation. Sound like people like the DMTV Nation. I'm trying to think of what the actual abbreviation is going to be for DMTV Nation, if it's going to be something else. But yeah, people sound like they're rocking with it. You know what I'm saying? Might need like a light for this side. I kind of look like dark face. Let's get a few people in. My people that's already in, let's hit the like button so we can start getting the algorithm in. We got a very, very, very special guest coming on tonight. This lady, she's been hitting me up for a few weeks, trying to say she want to get, some talk about some Illuminati stuff. She said she got a lot of stuff she want to talk about. So, Dwayne, I swear your voice was different in your last video. I'm confused. Well, see, let me explain my voice thing where it goes up and down. Sometimes I have to get my son up in the morning for school, be 6 a.m. And I only got a window to record. I got to be at work at 10. So 6 to 10, I don't want to wait till 9 o'clock till my voice is right. So when I wake up, I sound like Darth Vader. All right, my voice is very deep when I wake up. So that's why my last video sound like that. Then sometimes I got to record really late to where it's like 12 o'clock at night. So I'm on there recording audio and I'm all tired and stuff. So that's why I might sound a little up and down. You know what I'm saying? My boy said the John Wall. I like the John Wall song. I might make the John Wall song the outro song instead of my song Hard Bass. DMTV Emperor Rex. And the lady we're bringing on today, they go by the name of Jaguar. It's not the Jaguar right. I ain't that nice yet. I ain't got Jaguar right yet, but you know what I'm saying? But we got Jaguar coming on. You know what I'm saying? My boy MIT said, "What's up, bro? What's the deal?" Dwayne, BS, he's Dwayne 3. There are 5 clones. I used to joke heavy with y'all about the clone thing. You know what I'm saying? I actually used to say I have a clone. I trained them how to speak country and getting to look like me and stuff, but that cloning stuff is really hard. Like, I don't know if I got enough money to afford the Dwayne McClain mask. Oh, I got you, man. Sound like super villain. I thought someone took over your channel. I had to check the username to make sure I was on the right stream. Nah, man, this boy Dwayne McClain, man, can't get no better than me. I still ain't got no haircut. I get one this weekend. Whenever y'all see me with a hat on, that just knows I do not have a haircut. Bobby Hemmett said Ice Cube is a clone. Bobby Hemmett, funny, man. I really didn't watch too much about him. Bobby Hemmett wasn't in my journey of getting woke. Bobby Hemmett wasn't up there for me. They said Dwayne, my boy Woke TV said Dwayne McClain first in Illuminati MVP voting. They're still in the guest room. Okay. Star Wars was for real. How can I get you some beats, bro? Email patrock1982@gmail.com. I'll post my email in the chat. Patrock. And I had no coffee today, so I'm a little less jittery, man. Coffee. I'll drink some coffee in the morning, man. And then I usually I drink coffee in the morning, then usually I come home. I get like a little half a cup so I can get some energy for when I get home. You got Instagram and Twitter. I got Instagram. It is Dwayne McClain TV 2. My first Dwayne McClain TV Instagram, I'm still locked out of it by just being an idiot. My boy Andre333. You know what I'm saying? Y'all send me the beats, man. You know, who knows what the Illuminati Talk going to bring tonight. Like I said, this lady, she said she got that work. So we're going to be seeing what the night brings. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to get at least a good, decent amount of people in. We're probably at the 5-minute mark we'll bring the guest on. And everybody hit the like button, man. Hit the like button while you in here. You know what I'm saying? And we also got the DMTV mixtape coming up. October 16th will be there. But the time, we might extend it out to how long we can get people to come in for the mixtape. Now, the commercial, we're still debating on it. But right now, we're going with $100 slots for the mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? Get you on the mixtape. You'll be featured on there. I'll be on the mixtape. It's a way to get your music and songs out. The mixtape will be on the channel. We also will have it to where I got to speak over with the guy, see how I know we said we're going to do it with physical copies. We're going to also do it to where it can be on like a website, on a radio show. So if you're interested in that, email me at patrock1982@gmail.com. And also, if you're interested in getting your interview, man, get an interview and do an episode with Dwayne McClain, man. Hit my email, patrock1982@gmail.com. It's 100 smacks for the interview. You know what I'm saying? We do a whole episode together. You know what I mean? You come on here. You can help build up your platform. I've built over, I wouldn't say I built, but I've helped gain people's channels. A few guys. I helped a few guys got to 1,000 subscribers. I helped one dude, I helped him get like 3. But there's a few people whose channels who I helped slowly build because, DMTV Nation is one of the best subscribers, fan base ever. What's good, Dwayne? I like the lives. You got to do more of them often. I put my son on you. Well, I appreciate you putting your son on me. Like I said, word of mouth is the best promotion. And I am trying to get back into my live bag. I just was so focused on editing. And y'all don't understand how much that takes time out of your day. The guys who do this consistently, clearly, I'm pretty sure they got monetized channels, so they don't have to work. Maybe I should just restart all over again, a fresh, brand new Illuminati channel, and just start with Illuminati breakdowns for that channel, because for DMTV2, it's just not the path or the vision I have for that channel. You know what I'm saying? For DMTV2, the like button is right in your feet before you come to the door. Facts, facts, facts. What about Drake and Fantino? All right. So we got a decent amount of people in. Let's go ahead and bring our guests. I don't know, they've been waiting. You know what I'm saying? Let's hear what they got to say. You know what I mean? They want to stay off cam to preserve and, keep their identity out the way. You know what I'm saying? This is a dirty game out here. All right. So on today's stream, I got none other than Miss Jaguar in the building. I ain't got no claps, but
thank you.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going okay. It's going okay. I really wanted to come on your show because I have some things on my mind that really, really bothering me, and I don't want to get in the state of mind that I was after FEG Duck was killed and after Bomb was killed. I had a premonition to go and speak to Von and Duck in June of 2020, but I was really afraid to go because I had a bad experience in Chicago when I was a child. I had some good times as well, but really traumatic experience. And when I was old enough to say I didn't want to go back, I just didn't want to go back. But after their death, it messed me up real bad. I was just like, I had to have help sleeping and so forth, because I know things because I got to know Duck in 2016. And
so you met FBG Duck personally?
Yes.
Okay. We all off to a great start. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
Really personally, as a matter of fact, we had got engaged in 2016, and our relationship was closed on my end, open on his. And the reason being is that I ended up being Duck's personal counselor. I was a little deceiving with him. He had proposed to me in 2016 in front of Measle, but I told him that I was a teacher, educator, because I didn't want him to get his guards up, because when I met him, he seemed in a lot of distress when I looked in his eyes, and it bothered me because I know that look because I work around people all day. So I decided to hide part of my profession. So by doing that, it allowed me to get to know him inside out. He ended up giving his heart to me. He just let me know things he wouldn't even let his homeboys know. And so I'm just really disturbed about a lot of things that happen. And there's a lot of, let's say, I won't say red tape, but a lot of politics that happen to these guys. For instance, Duck was signed on a label. I'm not Duck. Obama was signed on a label on Duck's birthday, and Von was basically in jail a lot of times, and he never really had a chance to grieve and so forth, and so he was very fixated on things because of the circumstances in his life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy to get. It was easy to get into his life and pull out a manipulation on him and get him to participate in have narrow. This is what I would say. He would have narrow tunnel vision. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Duck, and both of them, their personalities kind of overlap. Both of them have like parietal personalities. They're very parietal. And there's, because of the background, the dysfunction in their homes and so forth, of course, they reach out to the gangs, and they both have leadership qualities.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing is that Duck, he wasn't locked up as much, so he had more time to mentally evolve. Although he did have faulty things in his personality that he would allow people to draw him back in when it was time to get out. And so, with that being said, I know that I'm not going to be the police, but the incident that happened was a Tooper incident. And my conscience won't let me uh, rest if I don't say this. Hopefully, somebody will hear it and may say, "Well, maybe she's right." Um, what happened to Vaughn? It was meant to happen to Vaughn. I gotta say allegedly to everything. But no, it was meant to happen to Vaughn. And the reason why I can tell you that is because after I met Duck, weird stuff started happening to me. You know, I didn't know at the time that we were being watched, and that yeah, and he was getting ready to explain the drill music scene. I'm much older than Duck. I'm explaining that to you. I'm much older than Duck. So he was trying to explain the drill scene to me, but he was struggling. Him and Measle was struggling. I said, no, no, don't worry about that. And, I said, what is it, soul music or something? And they were just squirming, trying to explain it to me. I said, no, don't worry about that. And I'm not the type of person at that time. I wasn't on social media or anything like that because I had a lot on my plate. Only thing I could do was work and get the kids out and come back home and work again. I didn't have time for stuff like that.
Right.
So I didn't know about social media. But however, the girl that I was with when I met Duck, she did. And when we met, they kind of got into it, and I resolved it real. I diffused it real quickly, and I think he liked that the way I handled the situation. After that, Duck was at my house. I didn't even invite him. They was at my house, and so things went from there, and we made an agreement. That we won't see each other, won't no contact or nothing like that. Um, I give you 5 years. I couldn't get him to see at 21 what I wanted him to see, but I took him far enough to help open his mindset up more so he could be more cautious. But everything that happened to Duck to the point when he died, I already had told him that was going to happen. And that
Mm.
when you see Measle, he comes back with he has this video. I can't. I'm trying to think of the name of it. This one video he came out with. You could look at him. He's real hurt because he was there and he heard about 70% of our conversation. So he was there and he know. And I had warned him, but Duck at 21, he couldn't foresee what I could see. So with that being said, I felt so strongly about Duck that I did put property aside for him because I knew what was going to happen, so he wouldn't fall on his face. For those who say that he died broke, he only died broke in Chicago. If he died broke, but he didn't die broke in Cali.
Mm. He was in Cali.
No, I'm in Cali.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was making sure to look out for him so he wouldn't fall on his face.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so when you hear Vaughn said in the video, he's talking about he don't know why he told in one of his videos. Well, okay, I never met Vaughn personally, but Vaughn, this is how the ops do. They follow the guys, and whoever girl they seeing and stuff like that. They kind of, if they find out, they'll know information about them, and whenever they tap in with them or something like that, they just follow up and you know like. And so one of the setups that I was set up in a car accident, and I have my right hand is it's on the deformed side, and it was some of the same people that is being paid homage to in one of Vaughn's cases.
So you got in a car accident. It was somebody connected to King Von.
Yeah, yeah, and they blamed the whole thing on Vaughn, but Vaughn was lured into that.
Mm.
Vaughn was lured into that. It was crooked. It was crooked police officers and everything involved.
Sound like it was real deep from what it sounds like, huh?
It was really deep. Really, really deep. Let me tell you something. When Vaughn was alive, nobody over in that camp ever did any, never flexed on me or anything. But before I knew it, shortly after Vaughn was in jail at the time. Shortly after I met Duck, I was lowered in the situation like Vaughn was. Nobody knows if Vaughn said, let's go to the Hoka Lounge. This is what people are saying. Okay.
Right.
I was called and I didn't know that I'm just I didn't know I had rented to people that were affiliated with this op stuff against Duck.
Mm-hmm.
One of the persons was hospitalized and they said, well, I want to be able to pay my rent and blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, then, you can, they didn't have Zelle at that time. You can just write a check or leave it in the mailbox or, something like that. And they insist, no, I want to make sure you get your money. They said that their daughter could not get off work. She ended up calling me and said, well, I can't arrange to get off work. I can't arrange to get off work. And I was like, okay. She said, you know what? We'll give you permission just to, we're going to leave it on the table in the unit and you can come over there and pick it up. Well, I have another tenant that I had to go over in that area that day and collect rent as well. And so I said, okay, that's fine. So when I went over there, they gave me verbal permission because you have to have permission to go into somebody's unit.
Mm.
I walked in, the girl walks in behind, the one that said that she couldn't get off from work.
Right.
And then I was threatened and I didn't know, I couldn't figure out what they were talking about. And when I was younger, I was a fighter. And um, if I had that same mentality that I had when I was younger, I would have exploded on her for the way she was coming at me. And all of a sudden, she showed up and out of blue, and she said she couldn't get off work. Good thing, I took a breath and reflect. I said she might even have something on her, and so I just let it go. I couldn't figure out what she was talking about, so I opened the door. Some big old red niggas out there waiting to pop off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and I'm just staring. And then she figures out that I have no clue of what she's talking about. Well, I'm an author, but okay. So I changed the name in a book and I wrote about the character. And the character that I wrote about is affiliated with one of Duck's main ops. And I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was being threatened about. But they had no idea that I didn't know anything about the drill scent.
Mm-hmm.
So just like that happened to me, I am absolutely sure that Vaughn was lured into what he was lured into.
Mm.
You have to ask yourself, okay, if Vaughn was not on point all that night, then why would somebody walk up to him knowing that these other people are into it, he's into it with, and whisper something in his ear? And you know how Vaughn is, he got triggered.
Mm-hmm.
He was easily triggered on different things because he, I'm sure he didn't get therapy. I mean, he probably wanted to, but he didn't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of things hadn't processed in his mind. A lot of those guys are traumatized.
Mm-hmm. All right, so just to catch everybody from the audience, they probably saying they're confused. Basically, what it is, Miss Jaguar, you're saying that you knew Duck on a personal level years prior to for his fame, and you got real close to him, and the powers that be who were orchestrate stuff in the background had you in a situation where you was almost in danger, and you feel like King Von was in the same type of situation where you was in, just because you was affiliated with Duck. they put you in a dangerous situation. And King Von had his affiliates with people, and they put him in a dangerous situation to lose his life. That's pretty much what we discussed so far.
Yes. And some of his boys, I'm gonna just tell you like this. The reason why I know that they snaked him because um a couple of my lawyers started acting weird on me. Like when you see Vaughn um well, I'm just gonna say rest in peace trouble. They started acting weird on me. They gave me some evidence to let me know that they was flat out in on it. Flat out in, and I can't make this stuff up. I can't tell you where it is now because um situations are being investigated.
Hmm.
But oh my God. Okay, what's the chances of somebody walking in a store that's an op of ducks and having I mean it could have been a fan, but I highly doubt it. And they have the writing of this gang graffiti on them and
Hmm.
checking out the person turns around and says something to the girl and I look up because I'm naturally looking in that direction and it was like, is she looking? And I'm looking over in that direction, and I see the writing on the back of their shirt, and I'm like, I don't have nothing to do with any of this. I don't know, where all these people coming from, and
Hmm.
and on top of that, some of my tenants kept riding back and forth to Chicago, and I kept asking why.
So you're out in California at this time,
Yeah,
and they were right from California to
yeah,
Chicago.
they was setting stuff up. Yeah,
Mm.
and I met Duck in California.
Okay, how'd you meet Duck in California?
At the mall, the Victorville Mall. I shouldn't have said that. That's just oh,
Oh, so sorry. So you just met him at the mall. He just came up to you randomly. Y'all just like had a mutual party.
oh no, no, no. I was just up there. I was taking one of my kids up there to look for some stuff for a school event,
Oh, okay.
and we just happened to bump into each other.
Oh, okay. And what year was this? You was like
2016, and which is
26.
weird is Duck's mom is saying that Measle and Duck didn't meet, and she made a point to say that, which is really strange to me. On one of interview, I think it was Vlad.
Hmm.
They didn't meet each other to 2017. Mm-mm, it's not true. And their phones, they had their cell phones with them.
Hmm.
Their is their phones are just binging off the towers around my house.
Hmm.
So I just thought it was weird. I just thought it was real, real weird. And I know because there was, oh man, I can't just reveal a lot of things that I want to, but there was a lot of politics of surrounding Duck's death for sure.
Now, when you mean politics, you mean like stuff going on the label or just stuff behind the music industry, or in the spiritual realm? It's something different than that. Of all three.
It's politics. Let me tell you something. Just the distribution of wealth is political,
Okay.
and he did ask me a question, and I refrained from answering. And it was about unsolved murder, and because I want to focus on him, and I think he didn't need to be uh, dibbling and dabbling into things. He had enough on his plate, but um, I think that was a really touchy situation because when he asked that, a lot of things could have been revealed, and there's people that, with his personality, wouldn't have want that information to get out.
Mm.
And he was due to see me 5 months before he was killed.
Now, you said it was due to see I had like an appointment or something. You kind of like his
Yes,
Oh, okay. All right,
and
that
yeah,
lines up.
and he also made it known there was an argument between Um, See, they kind of candy code what really happened. A duck was lured down there to the downtown Gold Coast as well. There was a argument between him and his mom, and man, there's so much I could say, and I wasn't even there. But
Hmm.
Duck got a mouth on him when he gets really angry, and he was under a lot of pressure and stress. But when he said he wanted to go home, I guarantee you it was nowhere in Chicago. Duck died on my house number and on the number I was saving for him.
Mm. Yeah, that stuff right there seemed like it was all like. Do you feel like it was some type of ritual or something behind his death, or they did some type of magic on him?
And that was a ritual. Just them watching him die live, that was a ritual. They let him die out there.
Yeah, I agree. What are your thoughts when he said that King Von was a sacrifice to the Illuminati? I know Duck said that in a song one time.
It was. Vaughn was only gathered to be used and then disposed of. Vaughn is being pimped from the grave right now.
I agree.
And they pretended that they were friends of Vaughn, but they never was. I could say something about one of his case and some numbers and put together something that was shocking.
Oh man, you can't say it on live right now.
If you want to know, when we off, I can let you know. But
Yeah, save that for a more of a secret time. Then I don't want to get you or me or the channel up in any smoke.
yeah, so I just to put that out there because you know this satanic dude that is pushing. Let's do the get back for Vaughn. Wants things to happen to Lil Tim and Quando Rondo when they knew all along that it was meant for what happened to Vaughn to be set up like that.
Hmm.
So they just keeping the chaos going.
Yeah, I had a few people who was there that night at King Von's. There's like a hookah lounge or something? I heard some people they said when they was there, they said it was a bunch of strange, crazy events that whole night. The stuff was just off when the day he died.
Yeah. There's other things that I could say that I don't want to say because I'm not the police and I don't want to um, pull a lot of people that don't want to face a lot of things in it.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's a shame that happened, and they want to keep it going because it's money behind it.
Hmm. You think the labels are getting paid off the rappers?
Of course, they're getting paid.
Yeah. When I heard about life insurance, I was like, okay, I kind of believed it because rappers just seem to just be passing way, way too quick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And some people, you keep them around too long, they become too dangerous, and you know they could change the game too.
Hmm. Now, when Duck was alive, how often would y'all speak?
Now I told him I didn't want to after I did 10 sessions with him. I didn't want to go any further because he was getting too comfortable,
Hmm.
and that was okay. But he was really attached. But he was at a point where he didn't understand things, and I felt that people would manipulate him, you know, and that not like he didn't have a strong mind. He did. He had a strong mind, but he was a family type of person, okay, and not just immediate blood ties, but your family outside your family, you
Hmm.
know. And I felt that he had a bad spirit that he was dealing with that was trying to use him, and I could see it wasn't him, but he kept wanting to affiliate with that, and I think it was taking over him.
Mm. Any idea what that spirit could have been? You think it was in the gang or it was just something else or something on him personally?
Um, I think he needed to cut ties. He needed to cut ties with people he was trying to do the most for. That's what I think.
Mm. Now, when you were saying you were doing sessions for him, what are these sessions you were doing for their like therapy sessions?
Yes,
Oh, okay. You're a therapist?
yes.
Oh, okay. See, I ain't know. We really learn as we go.
Yeah.
I might need me some sessions. That's good. So yeah, you said earlier that you said you warned him that this is going to happen for his life. Did you have like a personal feeling, or you had like a vision of that happening to him?
It was because of the conversations. I could feel the different variables around that was working around him, and I tried to explain to him as best as I could that um, that he needed to move space. He needed to move his space, and he wanted to. He's trying to do half California and half Chicago, but um, I told him that that wasn't going to work because it's like have you ever seen these movies that people go and they attach themselves to an object and that energy kind of possesses them and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't feel that would be a good thing for me because I know he was still messing with people that I feel that were really dark spirited.
Yeah, I believe that whole entire industry is like dark spirited. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think nobody does that. Now, somebody in the chat they asked, they said, "Do you do spiritual sessions or just like regular therapy sessions, or both?"
Regular therapy,
Oh, okay.
but I have been known people to say that um, they felt that I was psychic.
Oh, okay. Comes off real genuine. As far as like hearing you talk, your voice, I can see how people will say that. Um, Now, what do you think about Duck's mother after he passed? How she moved with the interviews and everything else? You think that was genuine, or what do you know about that situation?
At first, it was like it just didn't feel right. I'm just gonna be honest with you, it just didn't feel right. Her spirit didn't feel right with me,
Mm,
and she said some things that just didn't sit right with me as well. This is just my personal opinion. Um, as a female, there's certain lines that I wouldn't cross. Um, I'm very heterosexual,
mm,
and I don't care how attractive or how much I'm in the mood. I couldn't cross the line of being with somebody that's um, an acquainted of my son's on his level,
mm-hmm.
and especially an op. His
So, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
his feelings mean the world to me, and I know for most young men, boys, their mother is everything. That those who have been actually a mother to their son, they take great pride. That's their whole ego. So I would never put my son in a position where someone could say, hey, I've been with your mom.
Mm. Yeah, that is pretty bad. Now, I didn't know that she got around with one of his ops. I didn't know that about Paris Duck's mom.
Well, this how it's a small world. One of it that same op is one of my cousins. He hangs around with one of my cousin's friends. And my thing is you know what? I just often wondered, if things just got out of hand and you know she let the cat out the bag or some things, and things happen. Or was she sleeping with him generally for sex, or was she sleeping with the op to keep Duck in line? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
just I don't know, it just didn't resonate well with me. And then when I even heard her say she had Big Dirk's phone number, well, I'm like, if you have Big Dirk's phone number, it wouldn't surprise me if you have Little Dirk's phone number.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have the op's phone number?
Yeah, that is kind of eyebrow raising. See, I didn't know that about his mom, that she was moving that messy. It's pretty messy to be moving.
It is, and I've had when I was growing up as a kid and stuff. Shoot, I have relatives call out on me and get me done in. So, some things don't surprise me about relatives.
Now, when it comes to Duck, we only seen a side of him um, on the like just his music side. What are some of the personal things that, if you don't mind sharing, that we probably misjudged Duck? Like, what kind of person was he like outside of the music?
Oh man, he made my heart melted. My heart don't melt much. It does. It's been hardened over the years, so it's really hard to make my heart melt. And when he proposed to me, it was so genuine and so sweet. And I said, "This guy's only 21. I'm much older." I said, "No." I said, "If you feel that way in 5 years, we can do that." But he is such a loving person. He was saying things to me, and I could tell that they were sincere. That I was waiting for somebody closer to my age that should have been saying. As a matter of fact, what I didn't know is, remember I told you that I wrote a book and I changed the character's name.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that character has lineage with one of Duck's ops. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know that. This is before Duck and I got together. And I was hoping that that guy had said those things, okay? It never happened, but Duck did. Duck was he was 10 times the man that this guy was at age 21.
Mm-hmm.
He's
And,
really
and,
a cool person. A lot of things he was doing, I know, is because he didn't have an education, a formal education. So he's going to survive and take care the family best he can. And that's what a lot of those guys are doing, out there.
mm-hmm.
So it's quick money and so forth. But he's the type of person, if he was in the right environment, in the right situation, um, he could have easily been on the other side of the fence, a very well respected person in society, uh, in the professional world.
Yeah, I agree. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like a lot of the time these boys just raised up in these areas and they become part of that environment. It's not their, I wouldn't say it's not their fault, but you know what I'm saying? I didn't know Duck was that young though. He looked a lot older. I didn't know he was 21. How old
No,
was he when he passed?
7 when he died, but when I met him, he was 21.
Oh, okay, yeah. I forgot y'all had a history. Yeah, y'all had the history. Yeah,
Yeah,
time been flying by.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, but he's a good guy. He's a good. I mean, he has a good heart. He had a good heart. He's going to take care of the whole crew, and that's where Bond's personality. Okay, but on the other hand, he's a killer in the street. But on the other hand, he's going to take care of everybody. He's
mhm,
going to everybody.
mhm. Now, how do you feel about Little Dirk as far as that? Because Little Dirk is probably in the center of Von and King, FBG Duck's death and Little Dirk. So he's kind of like in the middle of it. So how do you feel about Dirk?
I feel Dirk is a coward. I feel Dirk is a house nigga.
I can agree with that. You feel like he has his hands or his part in any of these guys dying, or he's just being a puppet.
He, like I said, it's not by coincidence that he signed Bond on Duck's birthday to his label.
No, I don't think that's a coincidence at all. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I feel like they be planning out these guys' deaths to me.
Mm-hmm. He's the type. I heard one song. He said, "I can get your cousin to turn on you." Blah blah blah. In one of his raps, that's just what he does. He infiltrates people. Like he'll go. Like if he's the type of person that if he wants to get at you, he will lurk in the back, get someone to infiltrate in your family, find out who doesn't like you, and get them to work with him against you.
Mm-hmm. Now, working with Duck, was you ever introduced to anybody else in the industry?
No, only Measle.
And see, I still don't know who Measle is. I heard you say his name a few times.
Measle, the one got killed shortly after Duck.
Oh man, I really hate how these boys be dying like that. Like, They die really young too. You know, I can only I'm still thankful I'm still alive living, but I really hate seeing them pass and leave in that fashion. Do you think there's anything that we could do to help with the gang culture that attacks our neighborhoods?
A lot of it is economy, and changing the perspective of what we value. You see, all the materialistic things that we value, we put that before anything now, before life. We don't have that bond that we once had. Black people had bonds back in the 50s. We don't have that anymore, but that was all set up by design.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't have the family reunions no more. It's just Thanksgivings is a lot more, solo. It's not really big family oriented anymore.
Right. And then they allowed so much. Now they can't do anything about it, but they allowed so much, like what, like they'll control YouTube, but now they allow so much over the air now. You know what I'm saying? Is part of psychology is first you say it and then you do it. So if you treat saying bad things about people, next thing you do is the next step.
Now, how long have you been in the psychology field?
Since '95.
It's 95. Okay. It's the majority of some of these people's lives. It's the majority of this, some of these people in this live here was not even born in 95.
Yeah. Yeah.
psychology is a psychology is a real interesting field. I did a little study in it when I was in college. I didn't major in it, but I took a course. Learned about, I forgot the scientist's name, but it's a bunch of, I don't know if they're German scientists, but they did a bunch of studies on poverty and stuff like that. So they know if you get these people in these places where there's low income, they'll end up joining gangs and being involved in crime. So a
that
lot
is,
of this stuff is premeditated.
that's right. That's exactly what I was saying. They knew the mindset of the individual, kept put together that for instance they knew Bonds. To me he was like a Mandarin candidate. They knew the mindset. They knew everything. And he was able to be studied because he was in jail so much.
Mm-hmm. Who, Vaughn?
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually get them with some type of. They usually be within the prison systems for a while to get that MK Ultra stuff going on with them. From what I believe.
I believe too.
What do you think about what happened to the situation with PNB Rock? You think that's another situation where he was assassinated?
I don't know much about him, but yeah, I think sure they didn't. I don't know. Somebody didn't have his best interest. He shouldn't have been. I'm from Cali. He shouldn't have been nowhere on Manchester at the Chicken and Waffle House. That place is gritty. I mean, the income over there. The people, the state of mind of the people over there. Not just saying that they're just bad people because they're bad people, but it's a lot of stress because there's a lot of poverty,
Mm-hmm.
and that shouldn't be an area where you go. We gotta stop. They gotta stop. They gotta start thinking. Why would you wear $1 million worth of jewelry in a very poverty-stricken area?
Yeah, I never really thought about that because I think it's and somebody who grew up in these areas, you don't really see $1 million that close that often. Most thing we see from $1 million when we go to our auntie house and they get in a huge home, but that house is probably only valued at $300,000.
Yeah,
So when you see somebody with a necklace on, it's 50,000. That's a lot of money, which you can just grab right there, and then I
right.
can see why it will elevate for them.
And the gangs over there, they're notorious.
Yeah, and Cali is real. It's really real.
In that area, it was a better chicken and waffle house that he could have went to, where the characters are less aggressive. But still, I don't get why you need to put that jewelry on and go to a poverty stricken area. That's just a no, unless you're gonna be heavily guarded.
Yeah, then I still don't think that's worth it. Somebody in the chat had a question for you. They said, "Have you ever seen a rapper act weird off of MK Ultra?"
Mm. In person or
I'm sure they're saying in person,
I,
but
I
but
think bottleneck weird, and it seemed like they have some kind of mind control of Kanye West.
yeah, I agree. I think I can look at him and tell something's going on with him.
Yeah, and let's even not even talk rappers. Look at pop stars. I look at Beyonce.
Mm. Yeah, you hear about that pastor who came out. He speaking about how Beyonce sold her soul and there she's devils and all that stuff. I forgot which pastor it was, but he came out recently and spoke about that. It kind of went viral.
Yeah, but way before that, you could tell that sometimes it seemed like she wasn't even there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The bigger of a star she is, you wouldn't expect that from Beyonce.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised things people would stoop to do to get there too.
Yeah, I mean, doing this content for a long time. Like I said, a lot of my stuff is speculation. All I do is pretty much gather up a bunch of information for me to conclude a very educated assumption or conclusion that people are in a secret society. You don't really have concrete evidence, but you got concrete evidence. If you look at, the Jeffrey Epstein flight logs, how many celebrities flew there, you see what he's charged with. You see what Isaac Cappy released with the children, and he died. You see so much stuff over the years. You gotta be like, okay, something's going on there in Hollywood that I don't want no parts of.
I could tell you about experience I had when I was a young girl. I was in this pageant, and I was number one. And we have different events that you have to attend. So they said, well, the sleepover is voluntary. You don't have to go if you don't want to, but it's for us to get to know each other. But I'm thinking, man, I don't want to participate in a sleepover with a bunch of females. I mean, we see each other here, so I didn't participate. And so when I came back, I went from number one to number 10. And the girl that did win, two houses from my mom's house, the lady that was living there, um, she had a daughter. She's about 1 or 2 years old, and the little girl's the daddy's girl. So they had a long driveway. So I was told that front door was left open, and the wife went out the back door to say goodbye to the husband. Well, the little girl went out the front door, and the father backed over the little girl. Her brains was all out. Now, the girl that became number one in the pageant ended up coming out of that house.
What? What do you
Yeah.
think that was? You think that's some sort of a ritual thing right there? Or they
Uh,
set the girl up?
yeah, I think it was a ritual. It was the man didn't know, he almost lost his mind. But they be pulling rituals because her mother was saying no, 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 and I couldn't understand what they was talking about. But she was saying something to her daughter, the one that won the pageant. She was trying to tell her that it wasn't the way to go, but that girl came out of that house that won the pageant, and they ruled it as accidental homicide.
Mm. I see why you don't want to go to that sleepover. I don't blame you.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't go to that sleepover because I just thought, why do females have to get together and sleep over? So they
Yeah.
probably a lot of stuff going on, and I didn't. I mean, I just thought it was weird for a pageant to have a sleepover where all the girls sleeping together.
They're probably touching them children, in
Yeah.
my opinion. So you were born and raised in California.
Yes.
So how far are you from the Hollywood area? Or are you familiar with that area? Not even that's how far. Are you familiar with the area of Hollywood? Because I heard a bunch of crazy stuff goes on over there.
Oh yeah, it's been going on for a long time. I mean, little white kids just tell me about Bohemian Grove when I was a kid. I knew about that before I was in the first grade.
What was he saying about the Bohemian Grove?
That the presidents have to go and run around in the woods naked.
It's so funny.
They do little rituals and stuff that I don't know why kids were smart. They told me a lot of stuff that I actually saw in Inquiring Minds, Want to Know, and all that kind of stuff years and years later when I became a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
They were well connected.
And it's funny because I think a lot of these quote unquote we just say white people, fuck it, white people who live these successful lives. I really do think a lot of them did a lot of magic behind closed doors. They just don't talk about it. I really do. I really think a lot of families devil and dive and doing rituals and wild seances and stuff. They don't talk about it, but I think it happens a lot. I'm not saying not every one of them. Like you just can't. Well, I'm not saying you can't work hard and get with you. And I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I do believe that some of them indulge and engage in that stuff, and the kids be seeing it.
Yeah, yeah. You know, the black magic is serious, and it's very serious in California.
Mm.
This is what
Yeah,
some people are into. A lot of
yeah,
weird
and the run-ins and while in Cali with Black Magic.
with black magic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, enough to keep me to be where I'm pretty much a loner.
I understand that. You got to keep your energy safe.
Yeah, you do, you do. But yeah, I think if black people change their mindset of of what's more important, and change the value system, that I think a lot of the gangs and things would change. I
I
mean,
do it. I do as well.
yeah, the materialistic stuff. First they tricked us out. They tricked the man out the house, and the woman became satisfied with it. And I remember these times. Social workers come by. They couldn't have no men clothes in the house unless they wouldn't get a welfare check. And the men would be trying to get jobs, but they wouldn't hire them. And they did all these things just for to create the situation, because it was a time when black people, you couldn't walk down you can go down blocks and find um every father was in the house, unless he was dead or something happened to him. Everybody, it was common to have a father. But
So
when
did you see the effects personally of the crack era?
I saw it, I was in the military at the time, but yeah, I saw it when I got back. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was weird. The whole hood changed.
Yeah, I think that was strategically placed. Like similar to the situation you was talking about, how they strategically got the fathers out of their home. I really do think the crack was strategically put in our neighborhoods just so we can have what's going on now.
Yeah, I had student in law in high school, and one of my teachers was actually a sheriff, and he was African American, and he wasn't no pushover, and he was crying. This is shortly before all that stuff started happening. He said, I get called, what do they call him,
Uncle
Uncle,
Tom.
yeah, and all that. He said, but if I wasn't in this position, my people would be treated a lot worse. And he said, my people don't even know what's coming for them. They don't know what's coming for them. And they was going around. They had infiltrates going around, um, putting PCP in people's containers and stuff like that. You drinking something or putting them on that food and stuff, and people would go off, and a lot of people wouldn't come back. And some of these people were some of the smartest in the neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Yeah,
was,
that happened a lot in my neighborhoods. We had a few people when I just growing up. I'm just saying, like I don't know if it still happens now. All I know, there's a lot of people when I grew up. Well, there say that person used to be this, but they had something laced, and then they
yeah,
never bounced back.
yes,
Yeah, I really do think that a lot of that stuff are that's pushed. I think there's something wrong with black people. I don't know what it is, but it's something about us that they strategically mess with us constantly. What do you think it is about blacks in America that the government has to constantly poke at us?
I think we good. We good at what we do when we get ourselves together. I think we are edge up. I really do. But it's just, and I think it's a lot of jealousy.
Yeah.
They didn't drop that bomb on Wall Street or the was it People's African Republic for nothing. Can you imagine that your own government comes in and drop a bomb on a community or an apartment building?
Mm. This stuff actually happened. I know it happened, but I could not imagine. No.
And well, they do that for a reason.
What's the
They
reason?
for a reason, and it's sad. I've seen some things. Well, I've seen a celebrity get taken down, and it was so cold that I believe that some of the family had something to do with it as well. And during this time, it was legal for children to be beaten in school with paddles and belts and things like that.
Hmm.
And what I saw was just that person should have been coming out of the house with this athlete's mother right across the street from my elementary school. Very notable person. And the reason why I was scared is that, well, I got punished for being out of my area.
Hmm.
I believe I was punished for what I saw. It wasn't for being out of my area. I wasn't supposed to see what I saw. And the person that was with me, he ended up, as soon as we graduated from high school, and I think about a year or two later, he got blown away. Sometimes
Mm.
you know too much, they put you to sleep.
Yeah, they get rid of you for talking about this information. That's why my father, I don't really worry about it too much. I don't really worry about it at all. But my father, he always on me about it. He's like, man, let's making sure you say he'll just do a checkup call on me because he's so worried about me making this type of content because it is real. I have read about so many conspiracy theorists and so many different people who speak out and stuff they get
Yeah,
put down pretty much. So it's real. You can't really talk about this stuff.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
And oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
And that's the thing. I think Duck was snooping around on some stuff too that they were scared that because of his personality, if he found out about it, how things would end up too. So definitely had to keep him away. Make sure he didn't achieve his ultimate goals because that would have been dangerous. If you kept King Von around, he found out you was trying to set him up. That would have been really dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to ask you this. One thing that I had with Duck was that he was one of the last few, well, one of the very few rappers who had a very, very masculine look to him. Do you think that they took him out? One of the reasons they took him out because if he would have been, he wasn't fit, he didn't fit the agenda for right now. Because right now they want to push the man on man agenda right now.
I think that's absolutely the reason why they took.
Mm.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Lil Durk was attracted to Duck. I ain't. I think he. You laughing, but I'm serious. I think that's why Laurie Lightfoot came out with I got the biggest dick in Chicago.
Who said that?
Laurie Lightfoot.
Oh, I don't even know who that is. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's the mayor of Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah, she talked down on Duck when he died,
Mm.
and she
Mm.
posed him with Lil Durk.
Now I think that lady's a play. You talking about the lady with the big eyes?
Yes,
I think that lady's up to something. She don't look like a normal person. I think she tied in.
she is tied in. That's why they sit up there and let Duck bleed out like that. And matter of fact, I went to the hospital because I was trying to. I went down there to pay my respects. At the 11th hour because it took me everything to go down there. And I went all in the store and so forth. And I really couldn't pick up any energy. But when I went to the hospital, like it was like my whole body drained. So I think he had the biggest struggle in that hospital. And I just sat in the emergency room, and while I was sitting there, one of the assistants came over there and told me I had to leave. So as I was leaving, he was really, really rude. They got people in hospitals that practice devil worshiping too. And as I was leaving, he tried to. A big white guy came in. He tried to have the same energy, but he put him in check. But you could feel that something wasn't right because you're in a hospital and you're behaving the way you're behaving towards someone who has done nothing to you. And they said that they would get up and leave. And I understand that COVID's going on and all that, and you can't just be sitting in the waiting room. But there was only like 4 people in there. But I picked up really bad energy in that hospital where Doug died.
Mm. So he didn't die at the scene. He died at the hospital.
He died at the hospital, I believe, not at the scene. I didn't have much just to
Information.
pick up energy where he actually was laying there, shot, but I think more went on at the hospital.
Okay. And people in the chat, they want to know your age. Like, everybody keeps asking. They said, how old is the guest? I said it's rude to ask a woman's age, but they
And
wanted
he
to know, so I said I asked.
just say I'm old enough to be wise.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I hear the wisdom. Now, was there any other topics you want to touch on regarding this subject? Because I know I was kind of orchestrating, but I didn't want to like overcrowd you. So, was there any other topic that you feel we graced over that you wanted to elaborate more on or speak on if you haven't spoken on about it yet?
Don't say this. You know what? When Barack Obama was campaigning in California, he ended up at my house. Well, not my house, my mom's house, and he was very flirtatious with me in front of your girl Michelle or your guy Michael, whatever it is. I just felt that it was really weird that Duck ended up dead on that day, on his birthday.
He died on his birthday.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So I need to do better. You know what I'm saying, with these stories. I think that's probably one of the ones I did do some research on, but it's been a while.
Yeah, Michelle was she was very pissed off, but I wasn't feeling him like that. I just did. Matter of fact, her mom, uh, I know my eyes wasn't playing trick. She looked like she shapeshifted on me. I was that tripped me out. Her mom, something that went on in the streets, and some of my family members are good at you know getting down in the streets and setting people up and things like that. Some that went down, but yeah, it's gonna be put it out there. Yeah, it was a very flirtatious Barack Obama on my heels.
Mm. So I don't see I ain't see that from Barack. Because I always heard he liked the men's, but he might like both. What it sound like.
But he sure was feeling me that day.
What was he saying? Was his comments any? Was he even any good at flirting?
Yeah, he was pretty good, but
At least he had some lines.
I get vibes from people.
Hmm. You kind
So
of got like a snake vibe from him.
I got a vibe that wasn't all the way there with him. It's like I had crossed his path before, and I was real young.
Mm,
And my
yeah.
father did travel a lot. He would take he traveled during the summer, and he would take us all over different places and stuff. So it was more likely I did, but at that time it just wasn't right.
Hmm. Now, how long was you in the military? I know you say you served.
3 years.
Which branch?
Army.
Army. Okay.
Army.
Did you see anything while in your time in the service? Anything weird?
Well, it's weird that I was stationed at what's that guy's name? That won the Nuremberg, Germany. Hitler's. I was stationed in Hitler's barracks.
Dang.
Yeah. And I couldn't believe that they were dropping us off there, man. They had big old cannon holes in the building and everything. Looked like it just got bombed, but that's where we had to live.
Mm. Somebody wanted to know. They said, "Do you think Michelle Obama is a man?"
I think something not right. Something not right there.
Yeah, I think Michelle's a dude. I think something's off. I don't even think those are his kids. Uh,
No, I know they're not his kids. That situation's well, I just gotta say allegedly, but that situation's fake as hell.
yeah, I remember when Barack first was about to get elected. Every black family had Barack Obama in their house. It was crazy. I think by the time at the end of his second term, he legalized gay marriage. I think when black people really just stopped rocking with Barack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Michelle. Michelle and Michael wanted to push for all that, so he was down with it.
Yeah, I agree. Somebody also wanted me to ask you. They said, what was your MOS when you was in?
76 Victor.
What's that?
Illuminati. It's an Illuminati. It's a supply backup unit. It's also an Illuminati number.
Illuminati number. I
Yeah.
was a 25 Quebec. I was a communication radio man. I seen the picture of his kids. Nah, them kids don't look like him, man. Them kids don't look like Brock.
That's just what they created. Everything's political. Even like you saying, you enjoy psychology. I enjoy it too, but it's to a limit. Especially when I know a lot of things are political with psychology and labeling and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Spiritual.
I feel like a lot of doctors. They when I go to a doctor's, I feel like they stick strictly to what they were taught. I don't think they really use not saying use their brain. I don't think they don't go outside of what the script tells them to. When I go to a doctor's office, I feel like they stick with the script, and they might do a little bit of diagnosing. But I just feel like a lot of the times, even any type of those professionals, I feel like a lot of it's political
Yeah,
agendas.
they got to stick to the script. I mean, and there's penalties for not doing that. It's an oath in that too.
Mm. Somebody asked, they said, do you think Barack Obama is reptilian?
It wouldn't. To me, it wouldn't be beneath him. I would just be honest. When I thought I saw that face shape shift on that on the mother-in-law, it looked like he liked it because it scared me. I mean, these little white kids I was raised with, they would tell me about all this kind of stuff and try to point different things out to me until I had seen it before. One time before on an airplane, but when I seen it then, it was just like I wasn't expecting it. Nobody expects that. But when something like that happens to you, you know things are real out here.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, when Duck and Measle was at my house and Duck was in the car and he took it and he looked back, he said, him and Measle said, did you see that? I saw a flash, but I didn't see what they were talking about. They had a paranormal experience.
Was some of the paranormal experiences that they shared with you that
They
they
didn't
said they
ask them what was it. They started talking to each other. They didn't say nothing. I didn't see it. But I know that several people around this area have told me about the same experience they had, and they didn't know each other like that. So I know it's out there.
We hear your bodyguard in the background. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And so, Ms. Jagger, when we come down to the interviews, anything else you want to touch on before we wrap it up?
I just want everybody to be safe, and hopefully somebody out there won't try to do a get back on and think about the get back, what's behind it. Because a lot of times the people who are at the top, they get their little leaders to tell the other soldiers that we're going to do this and we're going to do that, but they only give them so much information. Just like the O Block 5, I'm sure there's a lot of things that they don't know. They think the situation is just a get back gang situation, but they don't know the politics behind if they're guilty, why they were sucker punched into situations. They only know so much information. They're not gonna tell them everything.
You feel like the gangs are being orchestrated?
Yeah, of course they are.
I feel like the gangs, if a guy joins a gang right now, I feel like he did low-level Freemasonry. I feel like he's in a part of a brotherhood. That's why if somebody's a Crip, they can get to, if they're really an official Crip, they can go to certain places that me or anybody else couldn't go, all because they're part of the brotherhood. So I feel like the military is kind of a brotherhood. Once you're in it. But I feel like, you take an oath to join in, and there's a lot of signs and symbols. So, but I do feel like as far as the gangs, they are being orchestrated.
Yeah, I think America has been just infiltrated with secret societies, inundated.
Yes, so from the beginning, starting with George Washington, the guys
Mm-hmm.
who started off.
Mm-hmm. And it hasn't got any better. It's gotten worse.
Well, when I started my own secret society, Jaguar would need some straight thoroughbred people. Let me know if you want to join. It ain't be too much of a secret because I'm a broadcasting on YouTube, but I do feel like we need to make a lane for entertainment, everything that does not have that infiltration in it. You know, I see there's a big influx of people making independent movies. We actually sitting down watching movies that are not properly edited because we're just tired of, all of the agendas being pushed in big Hollywood films. So
Mm.
I'm gonna start my own little secret society. I talked about it a little bit like last year, but I'm really gonna take it serious moving in the next few years of doing the my own personal Black Illuminati, and I want to recruit nice, strong individuals. You know what I'm saying? Who are strong-minded, great ideas. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be down, you ain't gotta do no rituals and nothing, none of that. You just gotta say, "Hey, Dwayne, I'm down. I'm gonna join the Black Illuminati." That's it.
You know, you know what? That would be awesome. If you could pull that off, that would be awesome because that's
I,
what we need. Because right now they only putting the gay guys up the top and the gay women up the top, and they make them bend down. They make them all bend down.
Now, before we disconnect, I want to ask you that because you got some history and you've seen a few different generations. What is your thoughts on the heavy push of the gay agenda? Because I remember when I was a kid, we didn't see this stuff the way we see it today. It wasn't as out. It's always been around. This stuff about trans and drags stuff was out in the 90s. It was always their own little groups. Now it's mainstream. What did you think is the purpose behind that?
Chaos. Chaos is money. And they have it now so that it's really, you know what, some things I fought heterosexuals for being so passive. Yes, we were taught to tolerate a lot of things, but while we were tolerating things, they were passing all these laws that were uh, just breaking down traditional values and demeaning any type of heterosexual relationships. It's like we weren't protected ourselves. Now heterosexuals are not protected.
No, I need heterosexual straight man rights.
Yeah, yeah. And so um I think that we have to just regroup and enough is enough because they've taken all the kids. They're changing laws to give kids at 12 years old the right to consent to sex. And it's a disadvantage to a human development of the mind. What 12-year-old knows about, um, they may know what sex is, but they don't know how they've been manipulated
Mm-hmm.
and taken advantage of. And it's not fair for an adult to have that kind of authority over them just because they say it's okay to do so. It's
Yeah.
just these young girls going out having abortions and don't need their parents' permission. But if something happened to them, it just happens to them. And then a lot of times when they get older, they can't even carry kids because they've been out there having all those abortions.
Mm, that do make sense. That do make sense. What I just wanted to ask you, I just had a question. It's talking about the abortions, the kids, cutting them off, the genitals, the child, the transgenders. I just had a question. I crossed my mind. I can't think of it right now, but yeah, you hit some really great topics on that, man. I really do think they're doing that out of chaos, and I really do think it's all out disgusting. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is when that topic. And I just gotta be in my son's life the best way I can. I feel that's what everybody gotta do. We just gotta be parents, harder parents for real.
Right now, this day and age, I wouldn't if I had the choice, and the opportunity, and I had a kid, I wouldn't send it to public school.
No, no, not at all.
No.
They're not learning nothing in there.
Not learning nothing, and then they have the teachers with the mindsets of anything goes. So whatever, teachers making love to the kids and you know um, telling them. For instance, let me tell you what happened. One time, I took one of my kids to drop him off at the daycare, and he's a little robust boy, very active. And I came back to pick him up, and they had him with a Snow White dress on. I said, "What the heck?" I said, what is this? They said, oh, if we were dressing up the kids, and if they want to dress up in something, if they grab for something, we can't say anything. We can't tell them they can't have it. I said, don't ever do that to my child again, ever.
Right, because he didn't know what he was doing.
He didn't know what he was doing. He's just been a kid. You've never seen me dress him up in girl clothing, so why, when I come back, you haven't dressed up in girls' clothing?
Yeah, that's just confused the kid.
Yes.
The question finally came to me. So you usually say you're psychology. I'm gonna ask you this question: When is your take on the person's mind being fully developed? Is it fully developed at 18? At what age is a human being's mind fully developed?
I would say for guys, it's closer to 25, but a lot of things is not universal, like, textbook. I think it has to do with circumstances.
Oh,
For If you're to educate a person, you have to make sure they're in a nurturing environment where they can thrive. Some people are not in a nurturing environment to thrive, so therefore it may delay their maturation.
mm-hmm.
Whereas other people, they can be in a very loving, nurturing environment, and their maturation may be 18.
Mm.
So, it has several variables, your family dynamics, um, savage inequalities, how that's leveled out, and your personality as well. So I don't think it's a um, universal mark. I think it depends on various variables.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, Jag, that pretty much sums up all my questions I had. Anything else you want to say before we disconnect on this interview?
Thank you so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. I can sleep at night. I got what I wanted to get off my chest, and I feel so much better. And I thank you for it, and I thank the audience for participating.
They behaved extremely well tonight. There was no proud of my audience of the night. I give them a round of applause. And I also really appreciate you sharing that story. I was not knowing all those questions I was asking was off the top. I was not knowing what you were going to talk about, and I wanted to do that on purpose by not asking that, and it caught me off guard. When you speaking about FG Duck on a personal level, caught me way off guard. I was not. I'm like, hold up, FBG Duck. That's what she's about to talk about. I thought you were about to talk about, the sun, the moon, the stars. I'm like, nah, she came with some real stuff on the stuff that you experienced with a figure in the hip hop community that has a lot of questions surrounding their death. So I really appreciate you sharing that story tonight.
What's crazy, I didn't know his fame or anything till about 5 months before he died. So he about me is I liked him for him.
Right.
And he could be real, and he let me know, how he felt. And we touch bases. This is why I was able to I would do things for him that I had never did for no guy. I ain't put no money out there fighting for no income out there so you can have when you get back. But he didn't have no dad, and he was willing to carry the weight. I asked him, "You gonna carry Chicago on your shoulders?" He told me, "Yeah." I was so angry at him for that because I wanted him to be young, experience being young and having fun. But he's worried about taking care of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Father wasn't in his life because he was. So I'm like, like his backbone.
Yeah, he probably needed that person there for him.
He did. He did. That's why he was able to spend his money. He wasn't worried about saving because he knew that I had things, for him on the side. Even a defunct label.
You had a label put away from him?
Yeah. I didn't know what I was doing. I called myself starting a label back in the day. So Aftershock Production, part of the plans was when he got back, we was gonna start a label, and I was getting the money up for him and everything. It was all good, way more than what the record company was, getting for him. And he was such a strong-minded, masculine type of guy. He wouldn't come back absolutely broke. That's not his style. He got to show that he got a little something going.
Yeah, I understand. I like to be a little flashy when I'm out. Be a little flashy. But yeah, Ms. Jagger, hey, it's good to have you on. Hey, hit my email if you want to come back on again, so we can talk about that. I'd like to hear more about the political stuff. Maybe we can word them a little differently, but you enjoy the rest of your night. Shouts out to Cali, and you take care.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
All right. Hope y'all love Miss Jaguar. She came in, dropped that knowledge on us. You know what I'm saying? Had a great story. Hope y'all go back and rewatch this live. It was not what I was expecting. Nowhere out the gate. I'm really glad she came with something, that was new, refreshing to the audience. You know what I'm saying? Dwayne, you must think the audience age range is 5 to 18. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think y'all about 13 to 24. Most of y'all. I ain't gonna say that, but I feel like most of y'all be like in the real young. How y'all be acting in the comments? I've had some lives where y'all went crazy with the jokes. Y'all were talking about crazy wild stuff. So if I done so many lives, I see it. Maybe y'all done matured on me or something. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, heck yeah, I do think y'all are very very young in the comments. I ain't trying to diss nobody, but I just go by what I read, man. There be some people in here going crazy, and it's like mad of them. Not mad if anyone I say y'all. I'll say majority are grown, but the trolls be real young. So I'll say majority of y'all are like 18 to 30, and then there's a big few who's just real young. Hell nah, we black, we always joke and smile facts. And I love the joke too. Y'all know me. Y'all can talk shit in my channel. But yeah, I'm gonna end the live, man. I'm gonna do another one tomorrow night with Shocker Doctor. I'm gonna interview rapper. If you want to get on the interview, let me know. Hit my email. I still do want to do another one independently with Call Me Kinfolk, the worst than not surprised. So Kinfolk, let's schedule to come on, man. We have our own independent episode. I got a lot more work to do. I got to work on this Kendrick Lamar video. We got to get that out. Doing a Star Ring breakdown. And my next Patreon video, I think I might do an actor, like an Idris Elba or somebody. You know what I'm saying? But y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. It's the Border McLean, the one McLean TV. I'm out.